You. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, September 13th, and you have reached a very special Tuesday night Trivita corporate conference call and webinar. Well, at least it's Tuesday here on the west coast of the United States at 5 o'clock, and I believe for our friends over in New Zealand and Australia, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning over there. So want to welcome all of our affiliates across the world who are joining us on our worldwide webinar broadcast this evening. We've got a great program lined up for you, and tonight is the inaugural launch of our 25 customer model program. We're entitling this program The Power of the 25 Customer Model, and we're going to walk through over the next several weeks what the model is, how to build within the model, how to have success with the model, but more importantly, how to hear from your fellow affiliates. We're calling these best practices. What are your fellow affiliates doing to grow their Trivita business? How are they getting these 25 customers into their organization? And like I mentioned, this is a live broadcast going all across the world. The audio is provided through the internet at no charge, making it convenient for all of our affiliates to listen in no matter where they're connecting from. If you're more comfortable with the phone, there are some toll numbers you can dial in. But I think most people are going to want to take advantage of the visual part of tonight's program through the webinar. And hey, why not go ahead and get that audio as well to come through your computer speakers also. So once again, welcome everybody. We're so glad you're taking time to join us on tonight's live program. Well, as always, Tuesday night would not be a corporate conference call if it wasn't for your international sales director, Mr. Terry Newsom. So Terry's going to be joining us here in just a couple of moments and providing his insight on today's topic and today's program. And of course, I'm Ted Hernandez. I'm the Affiliate Member Marketing Director here with Trivita, coming up on my 9th year with the company. Had a chance to meet a lot of you at the Galaxy of Stars. Some of you I'll see again at the Director Forum on the Big Island of Hawaii, and also looking forward to next year's Galaxy of Stars in 2012. Now, our best practices presenter for the evening, who's going to come on at the end of the program and provide you some great insight on how he and his team are having success in acquiring these 25 customers with the information we're sharing on tonight's program. So special thanks to Presidential Director Mr. Brian Worth for taking time out of his busy day to join us and to share the success, not only that they're having success, but more specifically what they're doing to have that success. So we all know things are great, things are going well, but let's learn more specifically what exactly are people saying. How are they introducing information? How are they following up? So we're gonna peel it back. We're gonna look at the nuts and bolts, and we're gonna really dive into more of the detail in this webinar series. Well, the first thing that I want to do is I want to ask you all a question, and I want to shoot a poll out to you. But I have a question I want you to know, and that is, our first question tonight is, how are you building your Trivita business? I just want to kind of get a feel out there for our presenters to know who we have out there as far as your information. Are you building through personal referrals? Are you building through co-op media, through both, or other? So take a moment, give us your response. We're kind of curious about how you're building your Trivita business. Great, I can see these answers coming on in. So appreciate your response on all this information. Boy, there's no doubt that the response that we were expecting is exactly how we would think it would come in. So Brian and Terry, for your response, we pretty much have a split on people are doing both. They are actually using all the tools available within the referral system or the co-op system and providing us that information. So I'm going to provide you this feedback in a follow-up email so you can see how everybody responded. So it looks like a majority of the people are choosing both when it comes to how they're building their Trivita business. So thank you to everybody who responded to that. Appreciate it. Well, let's continue on here. Give me just 1 second here. We are going international, so I got a few slides here I want to bring up. Well, the next thing I want to cover, the next thing I want to go through is I want to talk about what are we going to do during this webinar series? Kind of what are our goals? What are we trying to accomplish in this program? And we really do have it broken down. So I'm going to advance this slide here in just a minute. I'm collecting all your answers from your polls, so that's why that information is coming up right now. So give me just 1 second here for me to collect that data. Terry, I'm going to kick it over to you real quick because I want to get your information as I kind of need to reboot or load up my system again real quick. I do apologize for that. So Terry, can you jump on the line real quick and give us your input as to how you feel our affiliates are building their business? We know that there's personal referrals, co-op media, and both. Is it any surprise to you that people have chosen both as their option?
Ted, I would love to, and it is no surprise to me. You know, that's the beauty of Trivita. It gives everyone an opportunity, regardless of their education, regardless of their experience and skill set, regardless of what they may have been in the past and have not succeeded. We feel that we've created an environment for everyone to succeed in Trivita. And the best way to do that is to give them dual pathways. You know, the media, the co-op is a key point of differentiation for Trivita. It is unique. It makes us, you know, a step above, heads above the rest. No one else out there has what we have. But I'm telling you, our referral pathway, the tools that we have, you know, the system, the supports with AMS, all the things that we've put together, I believe that we do have the best referral system in the industry today as well. So it's no wonder that people are building not just through the co-op media, but they're building through the referral pathway. And why not? I mean, this is a company that's mission-based. This is a company that we're all united. You know, we're united in purpose. We're united in messaging. We've all come together to try to advance this mission and try to be able to help people experience wellness. So what better way to do that than to be able to take these tools and to go out and to be able to engage those that we care about, be able to share with them our passion for the Trivita products and the wellness mission, and it is a great opportunity for you to reach out and to show someone how much you care. It's not about the money. It's not about the business. That's great. That's secondary. That will come. But what unites this company and our leadership and the people involved in this company is that we go out and we get to share our passion and we get to reach out to those that we care about. And so what better way to do that than through the referral pathway? So,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Terry, and I think that that's a great lead into what are the objectives for this webinar series. We talk about this 25 customer model. Well, what does that mean? And you know, how do you build that within your organization? So what we're going to cover and the objectives for this webinar series are simple. First of all, we want to demonstrate how to get to director in the Trivita career plan. I mean, isn't that really the objective that we've been launching here and talking about at Trivita for the last several years, is get your enrollments, get your affiliate members to director so they can take full advantage of the career plan. They can be part of the inner circle with the corporate calls and conference calls, the director forum, and also earn some substantial income. So our webinar series is to help demonstrate how to get those people, or yourself if you're on the call, to director. We also want to take the time to explain the power of the 25 customer model. Now, this model was introduced at the Galaxy of Stars with our CEO, Mr. Michael Ellison. We're going to break it down in some of its basic components today so we can all start from the same sheet of music so we're all speaking the same language. We also want to review the tools and the programs that are available to you to acquire these 25 customers. And you heard Terry explain so eloquently, that is, how do you acquire your 25 customers? Well, it's in the poll we took. It's in a balanced build. It's through referral sales and it's through co-op. So we're going to walk through some of those tools and programs that people are having success in. And I think the most important part of this webinar series is we want to provide the best practices from the affiliate members that are having success in acquiring these 25 customers. So you're going to hear from the presidentials. You're going to hear from fellow directors. You're going to hear from other affiliate members all across the career path and what they're doing to have success within the program. Our series agenda is going to be fairly consistent. We're going to start with some very quick corporate updates. I promise to take a couple of moments so everybody knows what's going on. Part one is we're going to take some time to explain the customer model. Then we're going to roll right into how are people acquiring customers into their Trivita organization, and what tools and systems are they using to acquire those customers. And then, of course, part 3, what are the leaders, what are the people in the field doing? Because I think we can sit here in the corporate office and say, here's what we think you should be doing, here are the tools that we've developed, but we know that you want to hear from your fellow affiliates who are out there practicing all these concepts and ideas and putting those to use, and we're going to make sure we make time for those best practices. Let me give you some quick corporate updates to begin tonight's program. Obviously, we all know that the Nopalea Gift of Health has a couple of important updates. They are being used extensively since we launched this at the Galaxy of Stars, and that, of course, is the $4 Your Business at Home magazine that you can now include with your Gift of Health. And then recently we launched adding the DVD for $1 as well. So for $5, you almost got this starter kit, this business pack preview in the form of the Gift of Health, including a 32-ounce bottle of Nopalea, and of course the Nopalea Wellness Challenge as well. So we have seen this tool explode in sales because we know that you wanted to add the magazine and the DVD. So we've added those to it as well. Don't forget, the worldwide promotion of the Nopalea 4-pack continues throughout the month of September. It has really helped to grow businesses, to enhance, introduce people, let people have an enhanced customer or product experience with the product. As you've heard from Brazos Minshew, it took years to build up the inflammation. You want to fight that with the appropriate amount of Nopalea. This 4-pack special, unlimited for the month of September, is a great way to introduce people to this wonderful product, its benefits, and have your customers and affiliate members have a terrific product experience. The next thing is very important, and that is we are looking to change the dates of the 2012 Galaxy of Stars. We will announce this hopefully this week as soon as we sign the contract. We're looking just to move it back a couple of weeks in July. There are a lot of great reasons why we want to do this, and I'll explain that in an upcoming webinar as to why we want to move the date back. Trust me, it's to your advantage. So we'll let you know. I just want to make sure I know sometimes a lot of you have to make your plans and your vacation schedules with your employers or family time and holidays or summer vacations. So I just want to let you know we are looking to change the Galaxy of Star date. Once I sign the contract, I will let you know what that new date is. We're looking just to push it back a couple of days. Well, let's start with tonight's program, and let's start off with the power of the 25 customer model. And that's what today's program is all about. Well, we talk about this being a 25 customer model. Well, what is a model? Why is it important that we as business builders talk about modeling, talk about the importance of modeling? Well, the answer is not far away. Grab Michael's 10 Keys to Building Wealth and Wellness, flip over to Chapter 8, the chapter on modeling, and Michael gives us a very good example as to why modeling is so important. First of all, it demonstrates a predictable outcome based on certain activities. And I'm going to demonstrate that today in the 25 customer model. It also creates focus. Boy, there are all kinds of ways to get distracted and build and say, how many affiliates should I have? How many members should I have? This model allows us to focus, and it also simplifies our decisions to know what should I do next. Think of it this way. It's a game plan to help you build your Trivita Wellness business. So I'm excited about the model because it certainly gives us all a game plan, an action plan, so we can all support each other, learn from each other as we go out there and build our Trivita businesses. Well, the next question you're going to ask, well, who are the 25 customers or people that are going to be in this model? Well, as you can see, I've got kind of an international design here because, boy, with the launch of our 10 countries coming up, additional 10 countries coming up very soon, you'll learn more about that in an upcoming webinar. Boy, it's pretty much borderless, isn't it, as to where you can acquire those customers and how you can bring people into your organization. But let's break this down. Marcus Ellison mentioned this at our School of Business, and he said you could really classify the people in your group list, your 25 customers, can really break down into 3 major categories. Number 1, you're going to have members, and members love to experience Trivita product, and if they refer, they receive a gift card. Affiliate members also like to experience all the benefits of membership, but when they refer, they receive, instead of a gift card, they receive compensation. And of course, ITBO. wants to take advantage of all the benefits of membership and affiliate membership, but they're also career builders. They're also people who are trying to build an income in advance in the career path. And that's the focus of this webinar series, are these directors helping people get to the director level in the career plan. These are our business builders. So we're going to start from the ground up, but the focus is we want to make sure we help people get to the level of director. So Michael Ellison introduced this 25 active customer ITBO model at the School of Business at the Galaxy of Stars. If you weren't at the Galaxy of Stars, no problem. We're going to provide you the information, and we're going to review that information on today's program. But this was the model that he discussed. This is from the director level all the way to the presidential level, a model, a program to help you focus your thoughts, your energy, your activity into moving up the career plan. So let's break that down. First of all, understand that this 25 customer model is really taking the qualifications from the director level up to the presidential level and really trying to explain what it takes to advance and get to these different levels. That's the question that I know Terry Newsom gets every day from the field. What do I need to do? How do I build? What is the first thing I should be doing? Who should I be attracting? How many members? How many affiliate members? Well, we're going to focus our energies on this model with advancing, first of all, getting to director, and then advancing up the career path from there. So let's take that one sliver of information. Let's take that information and let's just kind of explode it. Let's take this beautiful 25 customer model design and let's break it down step by step. The first thing you'll notice is let's look at the top of the model and let's focus on those qualifications to become director. As you know, you have to have a personal qualifying order of at least 100 Vita points. And we know many of you are well above that as you acquire more or purchase more than a 4-pack of Nopalea. You're also enjoying some of the other TriVita products as you continue on your wellness journey. You have to have a monthly total group volume down 7 tiers of 25,000 Vita points. You must meet the 50% team rule, which means of your volume, no more than 50% can come from at least one of your legs or one of your teams. And you must have 3 personally enrolled affiliate members. So that's the goal, that's the qualification to get to director. Well, what's the thing we need to focus on? Obviously, it's how do we get to the 25,000 in volume to meet that director qualification level. Well, let's break it down. Let's take the second half of the chart and let's understand how to get that 25,000 in sales volume. Well, now that we've talked about the first half of the qualification of the model, let's move down and focus on the second half, which is basically the model itself. So you can see the way it's broken down is this. The first thing it says is if you can acquire 10 ITBOs, that is 12 affiliate members in your organization, and each of them can bring in 25 customers. If you look at the math on the left there, it basically says this. That will give you 250 customers within your director down 7 tiers in your organization. Well, if you take those 250 customers and you multiply it by an average monthly order of $100, that comes out to 25,000. So again, that sales volume is what you need to advance within the career plan. That helps you to come to director. So if anybody ever wants to know what are the requirements, what's the model, how many people do I need in my organization to become a director? Michael laid this out at the School of Business. Can you not find 10 people who can bring in 25 customers? And this model simply says 100 monthly order. We know from our daily sales reports that the average order is well beyond 100, 130, in some cases 150. But for the modeling purposes, we're going to leave it right here at the $100 per monthly order. That gives us the 25,000. Okay, let's move down. Let me take the shaded area that you see under compensation. Let me reverse the shading, and let's talk about the next or the last half of this model, and that, of course, is compensation. We talked about the personal qualifying order numbers that we need. We talked about the model. Now let's focus on the sales volume, or what that results in. So let's shade out the top half that we just talked about, and let's focus on the other half. Well, the first thing it says is, what are you going to receive in monthly sales volume? Well, we all know that once your customer falls into the unilevel payout, it's an 80% RV. So if you take your $25,000 that you receive from your 250 customers, there's your sales volume of $20,000. That's how we get that number. The next one says, what is the estimated monthly compensation in the multi-tier plan? Well, what this basically is saying is on average, if a director has 25 or 250 customers in their organization, the average compensation payout is going to be $800. And because as a director, they receive the additional director bonus on top of that. Our historical records show that, and our averages show that to be $200. Well, if you add those two together, obviously that comes out to $1,000. So the average monthly director comp comes out to about $1,000. Now this isn't on the normal comp plan. I kind of made a few modifications and added that in there manually for today's discussion. Take that 1,000 times 12 months. That's how you see that 12,000 comes into play. So the estimated annual compensation for you, if you can bring in 10 ITBOs, each of them bringing in 25 customers, you'll have 250 customers in your organization. They have a monthly average order of at least $100. That annual income will come out to $12,000. And the last thing we show you is historically, what were the actual numbers for 2010? For a director with 25 active customers, that annual earnings came out to $11,397. So modeling is important, right? It focuses our energy. It focuses our what we want to work on. When you snap these three areas that I just talked about together, from qualification to modeling to compensation, that is the first section of this 25 active customer model. So we're going to spend some time and go through the other levels and talk about how people are acquiring the volume, the activity to get to 1-star, 2-star, and all the way up the career plan. But hopefully that was helpful to kind of walk you through how you can become a director and what the activity and what the model at least shows us. So I think that's a great time to transition over to your international sales director, who's going to take this information and take it one level to the next, which is to talk about, now how do you do that? How do you bring in those 25 customers? But Terry, before I do, Brian Worth, can I ask you to redial into the conference call? I seem to have lost your audio. So Brian, if you can redial into today's program, I would appreciate it. With that, it's my pleasure to hand the program over to your international sales director, Mr. Terry Newsom. Terry, my friend, take it away.
Thank you, Ted. I'm going to be talking about acquiring 25 customers, and as you will know, as we shared earlier, there's two primary ways to acquire customers. One is your personal referrals. That's warm markets, your friends, your family, people that you interface with, you're in contact with. The average person knows 500 other people. That can be in your Outlook Express email database. That can be on your Christmas card list. There are so many outlets for you to be able to tap into your warm market, and so it's a great way to build. The second, of course, pathway is the co-op media, and you're able to partner with Trivita's media efforts. So what I'm going to talk to you tonight about is how to develop and how to acquire these 25 models or customers through this model by using Trivita's sharing tools. I've seen a lot of tools in the industry. I do a lot of research. I'm on the internet. I'm looking at other companies. I'm looking in the marketplace, and no one can compare to what Trivita offers when it comes to sharing tools, business building tools, the DVDs, the CDs, the video emails, websites, brochures, the books, all the things available to you to build your independent Trivita wellness business. It's amazing. It truly is the best in the industry. And as Ted talked earlier about modeling, you can build a successful Trivita business, in many different ways. But if you incorporate these tools into your methodology, you will build a stronger organization. You'll build it much faster, and you'll get greater results. You know, I always talk about building a house. You know, you can build a house with a hammer and a handsaw. You can build it one brick at a time, and it's going to be a great home. It's going to be rock solid, quality dwelling, right? But you know what? If you use power tools, you're going to build it quicker, bigger, faster. You're going to have a better result if you leverage the tools that are available to you. And no one has tools quite like Trivita. Now, what's the best tool to use? Well, by far, hands down, without question, the number one tool today in Trivita that's building the referral pathway is the Your Business at Home magazine. Why is this magazine so powerful? Well, number one, it's self-contained. You know, if you really look at a powerful presentation, what is the perfect presentation? Well, for someone to make an informed decision, they need to have all of the elements, everything that they need to make that decision. We all go through a buying process: attention, interest, desire, conviction, and then we take action. But to be able to take action, we need all of the information. And the beauty and the power of this tool is that it gives someone every single thing they need to make that informed decision. The products, the opportunity, the media co-op. There's features, testimonials. It talks about success stories. It features the corporate leadership. Everything that someone needs to make an informed decision is contained in this powerful tool called Your Business at Home. And if you're not using it, if you're not incorporating it into your Trivita business, then you are not going to reach your full potential, because we are going to hear over the course of this webinar series individuals that are using this effectively to accelerate the growth of their Trivita business. So, you know, it's very important that you understand the process of attention, interest, desire, conviction, action. Attention. What is attention? How do you get someone's attention? What better way to get their attention than with this magazine? Okay? Because this magazine itself, the way it looks, the cover, the nopalea, the way you lead in, and we'll talk about how you lead in and how you get, you know, gain their attention and capture their attention so that they want to read this magazine. They can't wait to put their hands on this magazine so they can read it. But it's important because this magazine is the biggest step, because until you get someone's attention, they're not going to segue into interest. And they will be interested because the way the magazine flows, you know, it's kind of like an inverted funnel. It's a macro view. It's a wide view. It talks about the need. It talks about the industry. It sets up why someone would want to own their own business from home. Okay, so it really sparks their interest, and then it begins to segue into nopalea, the product, the opportunity. You know, they begin to read success stories. They begin to connect with those individuals. So pretty soon, then you bridge from interest into desire. People want to be a part. You know, they're, you know, it's you know, they want to be involved in Trivita. And then as they read on and continue to read on, and then they see the credibility of the company, rock solid company, been around 12 years, the you know, the dynamic experienced leadership, all of those things that bridge credibility, then the conviction really sets in. They're convinced, they want to be a part of it, and the final step is action. That's you. You have to be the one to take action. You have to be the one to follow up with this tool and be able to help people move into making that informed decision, whether it's through the product pathway, through the opportunity pathway. This is where they need to be. So the magazine itself, we have positioned it so that you're the messenger, not the message. And that's very important because you've leveled the playing field. You don't have to be a presidential director. You don't have to have years of experience and understand all of the dynamics about Trivita to make a powerful presentation. You can give the same and have the same opportunity as a presidential director or someone with years experience, because the tool itself is going to do all of the heavy lifting for you. So it's designed for you to be the messenger, not the message. It's published by Success Magazine, very credible third-party validation. It does feature nopalea on the cover. It talks about nopalea being a wellness enterprise phenomenon. And it is very important. These real-life stories are really going to be the key to your success. So how to use it and how are you able to maximize this tool? I want you to write down a figure tonight, a term tonight. It's called SINLOA, S-I-N-L-O-A, SINLOA, and that stands for Safety in Numbers, Law of Averages. Safety in Numbers and Law of Averages. If you focus on putting this tool, this magazine, in the hands of individuals that want to experience wellness on their own wellness business, if you will just make sure that you give out 2 a day and keep 10 in play, that's 50 of these magazines a month. The business will take care of itself. The people, you cannot stop them from wanting to be involved in Trivita if they read this magazine. How do you ensure that they read this magazine? You make sure you put it in their hands. That is your job, is to be the messenger and not the message. And so it's a great opportunity for you to be able to develop your elevator presentation on how you get them to look at the magazine. It can be either an opportunity-driven, lead-in segue. It could be a possibility-driven segue. It could be a third-party probe or approach. But you always need to be ready. Briefcase ready, purse ready, computer bag ready, vehicle ready. You need to have inventory. It's a very low cost at $4 a magazine. It is the best tool for the money that you'll find in this industry, and it's available to you, and I really encourage you to utilize it. And a little later on the call, Brian's going to give you some examples of how to be able to place this magazine in the hands of not just your warm market, but people that perhaps you meet by chance encounter who you've established a quick relationship with. So anyway, Ted, thank you very much. I'm going to turn it back to you now.
Well, thank you, Terry. And, we had a meeting just before this webinar. We know that the Your Business at Home magazine is available for sale for distribution in North America, U.S., and Canada, and they're available in 10 packs. Well, prior to this webinar, Marcus Ellison, our Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, asked Terry and I if we could place this and make it available in the personal use store for our friends over and our affiliates in Australia and New Zealand. So with Terry's direction and lead and with Marcus's support, we are going to make the magazine available to the folks in Australia. It'll be a phone and personal use order for you to be able to have a copy and to review it and go through the information. We will not be selling it in the 10 packs as of yet, but it is available in the personal use store. So Terry, with that, thank you so much for, obviously, you're so good, you're so smooth, you have all the right information. I hope you guys took some notes on what Terry was talking about, because there's a lot of great information, a lot of great sales nuggets in what he says. Terry, would you do me the honor, would you introduce our best practices speaker for this evening? I know you work very closely with him, and I think he would feel honored to have you introduce him tonight.
You know, Ted, I would love to, and of course we're talking about Presidential Directors Brian and Tammy Worth. Brian's going to be on the call tonight, and I do work with Brian on a daily basis. We talk sometimes 4 or 5 times a day. This individual has a passion for wellness. He has a passion for Trivita, and he's someone that's been able to take this tool and have tremendous success, and that's why we've asked him to be on the webinar tonight, because he's going to share with you some of the things that he's doing with this tool to really accelerate the growth of his team and his business. So without any further delay, let's bring on the webinar Presidential Director, Mr. Brian Worth. Brian, glad to have you with us.
Well, good evening, Terry. Can you hear me okay?
We can, Brian. If you want to get real close to your microphone, we're getting a little bit of an echo, so get right in on your headset there.
Let's try that one more time. How about now?
Now you're perfect. Thank you, Brian.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. First off, Ted Hernandez, thank you for kicking off this series and for all the great training that you deliver to everyone. We greatly appreciate you, Ted, for all that you do. So thank you. And thank you, Terry Newsom, our International Sales Director. Thank you for giving me the honor to be on this call tonight. There's a lot of qualified people, trust me, in Trivita that are very qualified to be on this training series, and you're going to hear from them in the up and coming weeks, but it is an honor that you invited me to be on the very first one, so I'm very grateful for that. We know, Terry, you gave some great nuggets, and Like Ted said, you're very smooth and you are a tough act to follow. But Terry, I'm going to do my best tonight because what I want to talk about a little bit is how we're using the Your Business at Home magazine to really accelerate the growth of our business. And, we're talking about the 25 active customer model. And it occurred to me as we were talking about that some people might be thinking, well, Your Business at Home, that's a magazine that focuses, primarily on the business. And it does have a heavy emphasis on the business, but if you look at the front page of the magazine, it says right there, Trivita's Nopalea, a wellness enterprise phenomenon. So it definitely focuses on the product as well. And let's think about this for a moment. Our ITVOs are some of our best customers. So when we give this magazine out, we're in fact building our customer base. We are building our 25 active customers along with independent Trivita business owners. So it's an absolutely phenomenal tool. Now I'm going to be talking about some tips on what you say when you hand the magazine out, some ways to create interest and really create the desire for people to read the magazine. But before I do that, I want to first lay the foundation and talk about and build the value in the magazine, because the bottom line is this magazine is a proven success formula. It works. Success Magazine, Your Business Magazine, has been around for a number of years, and it continues to be a very effective tool. Otherwise, we wouldn't still have it today. And to prove that, I want to take you back in time. I want to go back to the year 2008. I sent, back in 2008, Tammy and I sent a magazine out to a woman in North Carolina. We sent a copy of, now this was the first edition of Trivita's, their first Your Business at Home magazine. And that was a great magazine. But I can tell you, it didn't have Nopalea. And as great as it was, and we were all proud of it at the time, it is nothing in comparison to what we have today with this latest edition of Your Business at Home. But we sent that magazine out to North Carolina along with, and I have to say this, along with a copy of Michael Ellison's book, The 10 Keys, and we sent it to this person in North Carolina. And it was on a Friday, I believe, when she received that magazine. She read through the magazine and Michael's book cover to cover through the weekend, and the next week she enrolled in our organization. The name of that person is Tina Gonda. Tina Gonda and her husband Mark, 3-star directors. And I've talked with Tina about this since that time on many occasions. And she shared with me that it was that magazine and Michael's book that was the final piece to the puzzle. She was looking, and when she saw those two pieces, she said that was what helped her to make that decision to get involved with Trivita. Now let me ask the question to all of you that are on this webinar tonight. How many of you would love to have a Mark and Tina Gonda in your organization? And you know what? The irony in this is they are now featured in this newest edition of Your Business at Home magazine. They're also on the infomercial. So we know this works. It's an absolutely incredible tool. Now, the beauty of the tool is, as Terry mentioned, it's self-contained. It has everything that you need in this magazine. It covers the products. It covers the industry. It covers the uniqueness of the Trivita cooperative marketing business model. Everything that you need is in this magazine. Since the Galaxy of Stars, Tammy and I have personally sent out over 200 magazines ourselves. We just ordered another 50 today. By the time they come in, I'm sure they're going to be gone and we'll order more. I know we've got people on our team, Mike and Carissa Riedmiller, have bought and sent out probably more than Tammy and I. Cody and Marty Ramsey, the Gondas, a lot of people that have sent out this magazine. Why are they sending out? It works. I'm going to give you one other quick story about a new gentleman that just joined a new couple, I should say, that just joined our organization recently. Share their story, and then I'm going to get into some tips on how to get this magazine out. Kurt and Shelley Bishop out of Oregon joined us right before the Galaxy of Stars. They both did the Dash to Director program, very excited about Trivita. They walked away, I think, from that Galaxy event with close to 100 magazines, and they're just going crazy with Trivita. Their business is absolutely growing, and they just joined. They've only been involved for maybe a couple of months now. But here's the story I love. Kurt is a business manager in the franchise division for a national franchise, very, very well-known national franchise. He travels extensively. And Kurt shared with me that once he got his Your Business at Home magazines, when he's traveling, the only magazine he reads when he's on the airplane is Your Business at Home. He said, Brian, I've read through it, probably 20, 30 times by now. But he said, when I sit down on the plane, that's the only thing I pull out. I pull out Your Business at Home magazine. Well, he's gotten several prospects, but one in particular saw him reading the magazine, and he actually asked him, hey, is that Success Magazine? And, of course, that opened up the door for Kurt to talk about the fact that, yes, Your Business at Home magazine is published by the same people that publish Success Magazine. He left them a copy. After that conversation, Kurt actually put this gentleman along with another friend that was traveling with him on a three-way call with me, and it looks like a very strong likelihood that they're going to go ahead and join Trivita now. So it works. Just today I was out on the golf course. Terry, you talk about being briefcase ready and car ready and everything else. Well, I'm golf bag ready. Had an opportunity today to give the magazine to a retiring master sergeant from the Army that is very interested. And he was talking about retirement. And I said, you know what? This company I'm working with would be a great retirement program for you. I said, as a matter of fact, some very good friends of ours are featured on page 60 of this magazine. You want to read it. Their names are Mike and Carissa Reed Miller. Mike was able to retire at age 40 because of this business. Handed him the magazine with my business card, and I will follow up with him. So, folks, the bottom line is this magazine works. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, what do you do? How do you get this magazine into the hands of others? Well, first off, let me say this, that when you're handing somebody the magazine, the least amount that you can say, the better off you are, okay? You don't want to oversell the magazine, and you don't want to give them too much information. Think about this. Think about the last time you sat down and had a conversation with somebody, and they had just went to a great movie, and they sat there and they told you the entire movie. They gave you all the details, all the scenes, all the parts that were just the highlights of that movie. They gave you the whole thing. And by the time you got done, what were you thinking? You're thinking, gosh, why do I need to go watch the movie now? They've already told me everything that's in the movie. I don't need to go watch it. Same thing when you're giving this magazine out. You want to give just enough information to get them to read it. That's your only goal. You want them to read the magazine, and as Terry said, you want to let the stories and all of the information do the heavy lifting for you. You're the you're the messenger, not the message, okay? So what are some things that you can do? What are some things that you can say, when you're talking to somebody? I'll give you a couple lines that we find to be very effective. One is just simply this: hey, have you heard of Your Business at Home magazine? The company I'm working with, a company by the name of Trivita, is featured in this issue. Why don't you take it home, look it over, and I'll call you in a couple of days, and I'd like to get your opinion on it. Oh, by the way, my business card is attached to the cover. If you have any questions, you can give me a call. Real simple, real straightforward. You didn't go in and try and start selling it. Here's another one. Most of you that are on this call, if not all of you, probably have somebody that's featured in that magazine that's a part of your upline success team. So you want to use that to your advantage. You might say something like this: here's a magazine you might find very interesting. As a matter of fact, some good friends of mine by the name of Ray and Gloria Cox are featured on page 12. They had phenomenal results with this product, Nopalea. As a matter of fact, they had such great results with the product, they've actually turned it into a business. Check this out, and I'd like to get your opinion, and I'll get back with you. Now you've tied that magazine in with somebody that you have a personal connection with. It's a powerful, powerful way to build. Another one, and I love the third-party approach. We've always talked about with Nopalea using the third-party approach. Do you know anyone that's suffering from pain due to inflammation? You can use the same third-party approach with this magazine. You might say something like, hey, do you know anybody that might be interested in owning a business? If you could get this magazine to them for me, I'd really appreciate it, and I'd attach my business card so they can get in contact with me. You hand them the magazine. See, now you haven't asked them if they're interested, but do you know anyone? And I promise you, if you just do that and get them the magazine, you know what? You know who they're thinking? You know who they're thinking about that would be interested in owning a business for themselves? It's them personally, just like it is when you ask the third-party question with Nopalea. You know, the other one that I mentioned that I use today, retirement. Retirement is a huge issue for a lot of people. And here I was talking with a guy that was retiring from the military, but really didn't have the financial resources, as he told me in our conversation, that he could just, you know, retire and do nothing. And in fact, he wasn't really looking to retire and do nothing at all. He wanted purpose in his life. He wanted to stay busy. And so I told him about the powerful story on page 60 with Mike and Chris Reedmiller, how Mike was able to retire at a young age. I mean, that connected with this guy. So again, this whole magazine is self-contained. All right, it's got the stories, it's got the feature from our CEO, Michael Ellison, that gives the credibility and the background on the company and the industry. It's just the bottom line. The bottom line is simply this: just getting that magazine out in circulation and continuing to do it 2 a day, 10 in play. Like Terry said, it's the law of averages, and if you get those magazines out, they'll work. Now, there are a lot of ways, too, in addition to just, you know, handing them out to people you run into. I mean, there are things that I'll give you one tip that I thought about based on the success that Kurt Bishop has in traveling all the time, you know, when he's flying. And I thought about this quite a while back. But you know what? You read your magazine, you're on the airplane if you're taking a trip. Oh, you know, when you get done, you just put it in the seat back pocket right in front of you, and you just leave it there with your information on it. I guarantee you the first thing people do when they get on an airplane is they reach into that seat back pocket, and I promise you they'd much rather read your Business at Home magazine than they would the Sky Mall that they've read already probably 15 or 20 times. There are endless opportunities, endless, to be able to get this magazine out and get it in circulation. Make sure you have all your contact information on it, and I promise you, all it takes is one. All it takes is one Tina or Mark Gonda that you get this magazine into their hands and they join your group, and you've started your business off on a really accelerated growth passage. So it's an incredible tool, and I encourage all of you, if you have not purchased these magazines yet, you know, you want to do it. Make that decision today. If you want to move your business forward, purchase some of these magazines and the DVDs and start getting them out, and your business will absolutely grow. Well, Ted, Terry, I know that you asked me to be brief. I probably went past my 10 minutes, so I am going to hand the call, back to you. But I do appreciate so much having the opportunity to be on this call this evening, and I can promise you I will be on each and every one of the webinars as they come up in the future, taking notes as we have new guests and other leaders in the field that will give some additional ideas on how they can build and really capitalize on the 25 active customer business model, because it's a phenomenal business model and it will work. So back to you, Ted.
Great. Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for that informative information. As you guys can see, I started to take some notes as Brian was talking, something I'm sure a lot of you are doing as well. Put it in words and phrases that work best for you to be inspired by, to share with the people in your group. So you can see kind of the way I took the notes in Brian's information. Brian, thank you so much for the time that you've dedicated on tonight's program to share some really valuable insights and some tips. Well, let's give away some prizes. I want to give away some magazines. We've been talking about it. Let's give some away. You will notice in the bottom right-hand corner of your GoToWebinar on the right side of your screen, there's a place to enter in a question for the staff. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to respond to this question here. I'm going to pull some of these out at random and give away some prizes to the people who have responded to this. So our question tonight is this: where and who do you hand your Business at Home magazine out to? So where and who are you giving this to? You heard Brian talk about a lot of great stuff. What are you doing? How are you sharing this? One person is Oge. Oge, thank you so much. Oge says that they hand it out to everyone at work. Who else do we have on here? Some great answers. Boy, great information. A coffee shop, friends, physical therapists, salons, the dentist's office, the hair salon, teachers. Greg and Tina Gary. Greg and Tina Gary. They respond and say that they leave it with different people, the grocery store, the gym, the doctor's office, the chiropractor, people at church, all kinds of great things, shopping mall, auto repair waiting rooms, fitness center. So a lot of great information coming in. Carol Aramo says everywhere in hotels. Thank you, Steve Gonzar. Will Allen in tire stores. So a lot of great information as to where people are handing these out. One of them here is give to my own FedEx delivery man, and that comes from Michael Mock. Michael Mock. Boy, would you not like to see a list of all these responses that came in on tonight's program? Well, you can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to email everybody who attended the webinar all of these great responses from the people who joined the program and gave out their information. So I wrote down the names of some people who were nice enough to share. I just picked them out at random, and I want to give you guys a prize, a present for helping us out and participating in the program. And we're going to be giving a lot more tools and information throughout this webinar series. So I'm going to email all of you the responses that were chatted in, that were typed in. I'm also going to send out the slides from today's program so you have a copy of that. I'll put it in a PDF format. It's smaller, it's easier to email, and it ensures that I can get that out to you just as soon as possible. So Oge, Greg and Tina and Michael, thank you for your response. I took down your name. I have your information. I want to send you a 10-pack of the magazine you've been hearing about all night on tonight's program. It's a $40 value. It's a 10-pack of the magazine. Thank you for your participation, your enthusiasm in tonight's program. Now, next week's webinar is going to be on following up and handling objectives. Boy, have you ever heard Terry Newsom go through the handling objections? It is a work of art, and you're going to hear from some of the field leaders who have great ways of overcoming objections. We learned today you got to get that magazine out to help you acquire those 25 customers. You heard from Brian Worth. You're going to get an email that explains what everybody else is doing, but would it not be nice to know, what do you do when you hand it out? What do you say? How do you follow up? If there's an objection, how do you overcome it? We're going to hear from the master, Terry Newsom, and his special field best practices leader on next week's webinar, so you're not going to want to miss that. Well, I want to thank everybody who joined us from across the world on our worldwide webinar broadcast tonight, from all across the U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and even beyond. Thank you for attending tonight's program. On behalf of Terry Newsom and Brian Worth, this is Ted Hernandez for everybody here at the Trivita corporate offices. This webinar and program has now ended. Good night and good health.
The organizer